Greetings, everyone. Dr. Annette West, Publishing Pusher here. Thanks for joining me in the JetNay Publishing, talking all things books. Yes, the operative words, all things. I'm excited you're here. You listen in, share your thoughts. You don't have to be live on the screen to be able to talk. And I want you to know your success is my business. I'm here to assist you, support, empower, inspire as we pull out those thoughts to get these books accomplished. Thanks again for joining me. Again, hello, Dr. Annette West here, Publishing Pusher. I hope you are doing well on today. If I have anyone joining me now or popping in later, if you are a book publisher, reach out to me at jetnaypublishing.org or jetnaypublishing@gmail.com. I am looking for faith-based authors to be on my Publishing Pusher podcast that airs Thursday mornings, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we will pre-record the video sessions. I will also do video audio. The podcast is audio, but once the videos themselves are ready and we've gone through them, I will be sending a copy of the video to those who are a part of, who give their time to be a part of the Publishing Pusher podcast. So I appreciate you on that. So I have a project that is getting ready to hit the fan. For those of you who don't know, I have a series titled Centered in Christ. We did an anthology in 2000, and then in 2001, we started the Centered in Christ series. We have 4 books in that series, a different theme for each year. We are working at pulling in interested parties to invest and be a part of the 2025 series, Centered in Christ, Volume 5. If you are interested, reach out to me. If you don't follow me on Facebook, join me in the JetNay Publishing group, not the page, but in the JetNay Publishing group, because that's where I'm posting all of this content. You can also find me on YouTube. This is important because if you get to miss some of these sessions will be loaded to YouTube for you to go back and listen into them. And as you're going through them, if you have questions, reach out to me and I'll see if I have an answer or get an answer for you. Why? My goal is to help those who join in the process to pull the thoughts from their mind, to be able to make their vision plain that the Lord has given to them, and give them the ability to write their thoughts, to get their thoughts out. So I am excited about what we are doing, and I'm excited about what you could do as well. I've had people to attend some of my sessions that never thought that they would ever write anything. They were just coming in and being a part of the writing activities because they thought it was fun. And at some point they got the bug and they got the itch and they said, you know what, I think I'm interested in being or trying to be a publisher. Being a part of an anthology or a collaboration, the Centered in Christ devotional series, for instance, is an opportunity to get started. It's an opportunity where you don't have to write an entire book, but you can just be a part of the project, the collaboration, and write your section and get credit for it, be an author, be able to sell your books your way as an author and business professional. So it's not complicated. It's an easy process for those who have been through it with me. I give them the relevant insight and a flow to follow so they know expectations. And we talk about editing, publishing, marketing, branding, and all of these things as a part of the collaboration process. So it's not about just investing financially and then investing your content. It's about my company giving back to those who are willing to invest in it so that you can gain tools that will help you as you build and go through your process. So just a little bit about that. If you don't know me, there's a lot of information that I could share, but I can't share because it would be this session and so many more. And we really want to come in and talk about talking all things books. What does that include? It includes whatever you want to bring to the table. It includes whatever questions you want to ask of me. And it also includes me just sharing some information with you if there are no questions. Hi, Kimberly. Miss Anna is traveling. She is leading and being a part of a teacher training project for a couple of weeks. So we will miss her because she's normally here every week. I see somebody's getting their hair done. All right there, Miss Kimberly. So this is just a spot where I want to share. Some other people may come in. If they do, fine. If they don't, fine. People being on the screen with me, with or on the screen or not on the screen does not prevent me from doing what I need to do. Why? Because this content will be available to others as well on YouTube. I was gonna try to even stream it today on Facebook, but for some reason it wouldn't allow me to connect it to a Facebook group today. So I'll have to check and see to see what that is. And here's the thing. My S3 model says, if you don't show up, people don't know you exist. If you don't speak out, people don't know you have something to say. And if you don't share it, people don't know what's in your toolbox. So I am here today. I have shown up. I am going to speak out and I will share things that are going on in my publishing world that could hopefully benefit you as well. So that's an encouragement for you, even if you're not a publisher, in whatever you do, and you want people to engage and be a part of whatever it is that your resources, your products that you want to sell, you have to show up. People don't know anything about you until you start talking about yourself. They don't get to engage with you until they get to connect with you. And that happens when we show up. So I am here today, as I am most Thursdays, and I will share with you. So I want to share a little bit, and if somebody else comes in, then we'll dialogue with them. But last week, I talked about building an author brand, building an author brand. Now, when I share content with you from some of my master classes and teachings, I don't have a set agenda because I am not doing a conference, okay? I'm just giving you pieces of content from things that I have developed through the years that I think could help you. Are they in any particular order? No. So you're saying, why do I need to know about branding? And I haven't done anything. Branding is critical to knowing who you are. One of the things we say in the publishing, and they'll probably say this in just about anything you do, who are you? You must know who you are. You must know what you stand for. And you must know who your targeted audience is. If you don't know those three things, you have a problem. And you may create content that cannot be sold, that people are not interested in because you really haven't determined who you are, what you have, and what others need that will be your targeted audience. So I'm going to recap a little bit from last week because I shared a couple of the points that I had on building an author brand, and then I'll add a few more. If we don't have any activity, I'll try to hang out till about 11:30. The session itself only lasts maximum 45 minutes anyway, but I figure some time is better than no time, right? Yes. So when we look at the publishing landscape, we want to be successful in our publishing efforts. And then again, in anything that we do, we want to be successful. And when I talk about success and building an author platform, that author platform lets people know of your online presence. It gives you visibility, and it gives you the opportunity to engage with your target audience. This is more important than the followers we have on social media. What do I mean? I can post something in my Facebook group where I have maybe 15 or 1,800 people, maybe even one of my groups that has almost 5,000 people in it. And you will see that nobody responds. What's the thing with that? Well, social platforms expect for you to really pay to be on their platforms. So even though they'll let you be on there for free, they're going to make sure that many people that follow you don't get to see your content. So if 10% of your people see your content on your platform, you're doing good. So people are like, well, I posted this and I only saw 2 people responded. Well, people can't respond to what they don't see. So that's why you have to make sure you have a presence on your own platform. On your own platform, building your own cohesive brand. It reflects who you are as a business person, as the entrepreneur, as the kingdompreneur, as the writer, and it will connect your people, your readers, those who follow you with you in meaningful ways. So building, when I'm talking about the author aspect, building an author platform is not about just selling books for best-selling authors. It's about book selling for all of us. It's crucial for us. Now, I focus predominantly on self-publishers. Now, an indie author is just the person, which I am also. I'm an independent author. I'm an independent publishing company. I'm not going to say small because it's the size that God wants it to be every time I'm doing something. So let's just say I am a indie author. I have a publishing company, but I am also a self-publisher, and I work with a lot of self-publishers because I believe that most people have the ability to do more and can even do more without investing the maximum amount. So my goal is really to encourage people to really write their book, learn the steps and the process for it. So guess what? I'm going to show you how to fish today, which is creating that project. But once I've worked with you and help you to learn how to fish, now you'll be able to go forward and fish on your own. And the next time you'll be able to build your own book the next time. And maybe you only have to just invest a little bit of resources to get some coaching to help you continue forward. So when we have a strong brand and we're building our platform, it also establishes credibility. And it can open doors for new opportunities. It can create new collaborations. You may get speaking engagements from it, and you may even get media coverage from it. But we have to be strategic in building our platform. Why? Because we want to grow a loyal readership. We don't want to sell one book, but we have another book, but after we purchase the first book, they're not interested because we did not keep them engaged in what we were doing and offer to them content that they could consistently go back to. Maybe something as simple as blogging. And maybe you make a little comment about your world once or twice a week. It's not very hard to do. It's just about being consistent, When we get out here and we are creating our platforms and our author brand, we want to be successful. Who is going to start a business and doesn't want to be successful? So we are going to talk a little bit about some of these steps. Like I said, last week, I shared a couple of the steps. I will recap on those steps, and then I will add a few more this week based on our time allowance, okay? So last week, the first key point that I shared about building an author platform, your platform, which is where all your content, a lot of your content is going to be housed, is defining your brand. Because your author brand is the foundation of your platform. It encompasses your voice, your values, and the themes that you consistently present in your writing. What is your writing? I write faith-based content. So my books are always Christ application books. Even when I published the book, Holistic Wellness, Mind, Body, Spirit, it's all about the Lord in all aspects of our life. So what does your message convey, and how do you want it to be perceived by your readers? So defining your brand is a critical step in building your successful platform and also your writing career. Why? Because your brand goes beyond just a logo or a website. Your brand becomes the essence of you, the writer, and what you should be consistently delivering to your audience. So it's about creating that unique identity that reflects your voice. How do you resonate throughout your work? You know, your brand not only sets you apart from other authors, but it serves as the foundation for everything that you are going to do. It actually helps your followers to know what to expect from you. And this means whether they are picking up a prior book, a recent book, following you on social platforms, you should have consistency about what you are talking about. Your brand should be well defined, and your brand should be able to build trust, loyalty, and recognition, making your work more memorable and impactful for your audience. But we have to be intentional. That's my favorite word, y'all. Intentional about crafting and refining our brand, creating a consistent experience for our audience. Okay, build that brand. The second thing that I talked about last week was creating a professional website. No, websites are not dead. You still need your website. Why? Because as I said previously, you could be on umpteen social media platforms and not get any recognition. You could be on so many platforms and people are really not engaging you. You could be on platforms where you have thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands people, but nobody's biting, nobody's buying on those social platforms. Your website is your online home base. All of the other things that you are part of should be connected to it. Because when they come to your website, they will be able to see all the places you have content. But if they were only going to that place and they were on, say, on Facebook, like I mentioned, they're on Facebook and they follow you on Facebook, they may never get to see what you're putting out. They may never get to see it because the platforms decide what they're going to let flow through that you post. The platform decides, well, they'll let you post it, but people won't see it. You know, your website should include your bio. Who are you? What are you doing? Some information about you, your business model, and then your book information. If you have several books, then you should have a bookstore on there. In your bookstore, you may also have products, other products. For instance, my bookstore has t-shirts, it has journals, it has books. Now, my bookstore is on my Jetnay Publishing website, right? Because I publish for myself and I publish for others. But my bookstore is also connected to my Dr. Annette West Ministries website. Why? Because there's books there that are faith-based that I have generated that I believe would benefit the people. But there's also information on there about my Jetnay Publishing. So if they want to go to Jetnay Publishing, they can just click a link and pop over there and then pop back. So we want to make it easy for our visitors to be able to see what we are doing, how we are doing it. You may want to create a newsletter. It doesn't have to be very often. You might do a quarterly newsletter. You might do a monthly newsletter. It doesn't have to be a lot of content. I've done newsletters through the years, believe me. My first newsletter was one page, 8.5 by 11. Before our group knew it, we had might well say it was a book. We had a newsletter that was 20 pages. We don't do that 20-page newsletter. I'm sure it's out there. It's evergreen. The content is still relevant through our ministry. But we have to let people know what we have. But we also aren't always asking people to buy. We're just sharing information with them. And your professional website is going to be a cornerstone of your author platform. And that is going to be your digital home base. That means it's not going to be fleeting like these social media platforms. If you're only doing stuff on social media and it starts to dwindle like Clubhouse, when I first came to Clubhouse in 2021, it was vibrant. There was so many people on there. I mean, I did massive business on there because I just talked about my stuff and people went to my site and people started signing up for stuff. So I did big business on Clubhouse. There's not a whole lot of big business on Clubhouse like it was for some of us, but guess what? That wasn't my only platform. If it had been, I might feel like, oh my gosh, there's nothing else for me to do because all the people are gone, or most of the people are gone. So I don't do any of the publishing stuff on Clubhouse that I used to do because it fizzled in that area for me. But it wasn't critical because I had other things. And even though I offered what I'm offering here on there, I'm offering it now, and now I'm posting it over to my YouTube channel. So we're just making sure that we're creating the content that we need, putting it into places where people can go and follow it. And one thing I believe is the more people hear you talk about your content and you show up and you're not necessarily trying to sell anything, but they hear what you have, they're going to start asking you about what you have and how you can service them and how you can help them to build. That's that S3 model that I have, that I mentioned. If you don't show up, people don't know who you are. If you don't speak out, people don't know what you have to say. And if you don't share it, people don't know what's in your toolbox. So we are showing up, speaking out, and we are sharing it. I know I am. That's why I am here on this Thursday, okay? Where I could be doing other things, but this is something that I am intentional about and that I am committed to doing. Okay, so we can use our website as a powerful tool, as a powerful marketing tool. If you like to blog, put a blog on there. Doesn't have to be every day. Maybe it's going to be once a week. And you're sharing a thought and you're telling people, come back every Wednesday at noon. There'll be something here and fresh for you. Create your mailing list. Back in the 80s and the 90s, more so the 90s, 2000, early 2000s, you know, email was critical and we were building our email lists. And then all of these social platforms started popping up. And then we started connecting with people on social platforms. And many of us did not continue to build our email list. And we actually let a lot of those people go to the wayside. So now we had to start all over again with the email process because we realized that on these social platforms, they might lock up at any time. They might close down at any time. I mean, I remember when Facebook, people couldn't get on Facebook and people went frantic. I mean, we were on Clubhouse and it was like, oh my God, I can't get to my clients and stuff. But you should have your clients, even if you gain them on Facebook, if you gain them on Instagram, if you gain them on Twitter, on X, it does not matter. You should have their content information that you could have sent out a blanket email to everybody saying, hey, Facebook has some issues today, but I'm still here. If you need me, here I am. And you can also reach me over on this other platform. But if you haven't prepared yourself, you'll be lost in the sauce, as they say. The third thing I want to share on building an author brand is leveraging your social media. Consistency is the key to building a loyal community. This is critical because most people don't purchase from you the first time they hear you talk, or even the second, and maybe even the fifth, possibly even the 10th. But the most important thing is they keep showing up. So at some point, they may tap into what you are offering. But if you don't consistently show up, you may miss that person that the Lord has brought to you for you to serve. So how can we engage with our followers? We're going to share updates. We're going to share behind the scenes content. And we're going to actively not post anything that we're not willing to go back and look and see if somebody responded to you. Because when people respond to you, they're hoping that you will say something back, even as, hey, I appreciate you checking this out. Thank you for showing up. Thanks for being on my platform. I don't have to be nothing long and drawn out. We have to remember that social media is one of the most powerful tools that authors can use for building and adding to their platform. Because remember, we want to engage our readers and we want to promote our work. And think about it, there are billions of active users across Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, you name it. There's trying to think of some of there's some newer platforms that are out there also. Chatter, Wisdom. I just happen to be looking on my phone to see if I added, because sometimes people will invite me to some new ones. But there are consistently new platforms rising. So there are unparalleled opportunities for us to gain an audience and for us to consistently reach our target audience, build relationships, and even grow our readership. So leveraging social media effectively means we have to update our post about our book. You can't leave a post and a year later the same post. I've gone to people's spaces and nothing has changed in a year. Well, I'm done. I'm not coming back to that site. I'm not trying to follow that person or nothing. So if you want people to engage in what you have, you must ensure that it is consistently updated. Consistently updated might just mean you change the picture once every 2 months or something. You add a little more content to something that you have, but it is about creating a meaningful presence that reflects your author brand, that you can engage your community. See, when we're on social platforms, the social platforms allow us to showcase our personality, share our writing journey, and help us to interact with readers, giving us and them a unique opportunity to be a part of what we're doing, as well as us building loyalty and trust amongst the people that follow us. So I'm going to stop right there for a few minutes to see if anybody has any comments or questions, because I know I've said a lot. Yeah, if you have anything, I'll wait a little bit, and if not, then I'll go forward. Hi, Lisa. Kimberly again. Any questions for me? Any content? Anything about what I've said? Make sure there's nothing in the chat. So when we're talking about these platforms and having them available, we have to make sure that we are strategic. So we can't do everything everywhere at once. So we have to focus on the platforms that align best with our audience and goals. So now, if all I want to do is get information out and maybe people see it, then Facebook is my place. And the only reason I'm on Facebook is because I've been on Facebook, I guess, since 2009, when my children encouraged me, Mom, you got some good teaching content on the ministry. You should put it on Facebook. And I dragged myself over to Facebook and got started. So what it does mean is, on my ministry page, for instance, there's probably 1,000 videos by now that I've done through the years that people can go back to, that the content is relevant, it's evergreen, okay? But I know that sales is not there. But I do know that people is listening. Thank you, Lisa. That people is listening to my videos, even if they're not donating to my ministry, even if they're not going purchasing all my books, but I know they're listening to my content. So what's the behind the scenes things that we can do? So even though Facebook isn't my make money platform, it's still a platform. And because it's such a massive platform, people can always find me there. And guess what? The more things that I am on, when people, my most recent book client came from a Google search. They hadn't seen me on anything. They went and Googled and started looking at people and saw what I was offering across the different platforms, saw that I had been out for so many years doing this stuff. See, people, don't we look at these things? So people are looking at the same things for us as well and what we are offering. Who is this person? How long has this person been around? What else is this person doing? So when they go and pull you up on a Google search, what do they see? They see me on LinkedIn. I'm not on LinkedIn very much, but they see me on LinkedIn because I have a place on LinkedIn. They see me on all of these other social platforms. They see that I've ministered here and that I've ministered there. They see that I've had this conference here, ministerial. They see that I've had this, my Jump Start Your Writing workshop. They get to see all of those things on Google. So make sure that you have content out that will speak for you when people see it. We need to amplify our voice. So where are we going to amplify our voice? For me, it is going to be television. I know some people say, well, people aren't on television. Yes, they are. People are still watching television. People are still watching television. Let me tell you. And I am going to something that I have wanted to do for a long time. And this is not my publishing, although because I am a publisher, I will get to talk about some of my books in some of my commercial aspects of the ministerial teaching that I am going to be doing on television. See, we have to make sure that we're planning this thing out. I've been wanting to be on television for about 15 years. I've been researching going on television for 15 years. I've been on other people's television networks doing some biblical teaching through the years. But my own platform is something that I wanted to have. My own content every week, same time. I've wanted it. But every time I wanted to do it, God was like, you're not going to spend that kind of money because the children in Africa need this. So I have to be wise with how resources are going. And the Lord said, when the right door is open before you, you will know. And I had the opportunity just within the last 60 days to have this door open for me. So I am preparing my content to go through this door. Is it going to cost me something? Am I going to have to invest? I sure am. Is it anything compared to what I was looking at before? It sure is not. So we have to be willing to put ourselves out there. We have to be willing to amplify our voice, extend our reach and drive more readers to what we have. Hopefully that was somewhat helpful to you. I'll mention this before I end today. I mentioned a little bit about it before. If you don't have it, get it started. If you have one, start adding to it. That's your email list. That's your email list. You can go to MailChimp and create an account. You can even do flyers and different things in MailChimp that you can put out, and you can then transfer that content over to your regular email list wherever your platforms you're on. Most of us are on Gmail, and I have a personal email account. So we have different email accounts, but I can't post everything that I have on every email account. What am I saying? Some of the people, if what I've been submitting is only publishing, I need to keep my focus on publishing. And even though it's faith-based, I have a lot of biblical teaching. It might not be a fit for what I'm doing over here, but all of that can come over to where I'm doing the biblical teaching. So making sure that our content goes across places. So your email list is a powerful tool that you need for your platform. How do you get people to your email list? Talk about something and ask them to reach out to you through your email. So instead of giving them your email address, you want them to get to your website, then you give them your website address. And on your website address, they can see where they can send you an email. And so you get them to your platform as well as you get their information through email. You can create a short little blurb story or a helpful guide to encourage people to sign up. You can send, like I said, a newsletter. You can blog. Maybe you have a special blog that's only for your followers. Maybe you have a newsletter that's only for your followers. Only your followers are going to get that newsletter. You have some exclusive content and promotions for your followers. That's how you can get people to your email. So your email list is going to be a valuable asset as an author. See, unlike social media, where algorithms control who sees your content, an email list allows you to communicate directly with your readers right in their inboxes. So if they don't see your content, it's because they didn't want to see your content. Whereas on the social platforms, they determine who's going to see your content. And a lot of times, unless you are willing to pay some financial resources, nobody's going to see your content. And then even if people do see your content, are they actually going to buy? Are they actually your tribe? Are they actually the people that you really need to get that information with? Or are you just looking for numbers? Are you just trying to build your followers on a social platform, but those people aren't purchasing anything you have? That's not my goal. That's not my goal. And the email gives us it is a reliable way for us to keep our audience updated, to promote what we have, and to share our content with them. And what that's going to do is it's going to deepen the connection that you have with your followers. So starting your email list early in your writing journey, and really in any business thing you're going to do, is essential, as it's going to help you build a dedicated following that you can nurture over time. You can nurture over time. You know, email subscribers are often your most loyal readers, those who are truly interested in your work and eager to hear from you. So when you offer value through regular updates, free content, insider information, and in the process, you can create a strong, engaged community that will support your writing career. But it's going to require intentional effort and strategy. You're going to need to have a lead magnet. That lead magnet can be a free ebook or a special resource. For instance, I'll mention this because I know somebody here who has an ebook and is getting ready to turn their ebook into a book. and I can do this for myself as well. I started out with the holistic wellness, mind, body, spirit. This is just an example how it started. It was actually just me talking to people about holistic wellness. From that, it went to being invited to speak somewhere, and I created a 2-page handout that we went through, and they were able to write information. Then from that, I did a 24-page booklet that was given out at workshops. Then I created an ebook. I think it was about a 39-page ebook. Of course, it's more than that page-wise, the way the ebooks flow, but it was 39 pages. Same content, just added more each time. Sold the ebook for a small fee. Then I wrote the book, Holistic Wellness, Mind, Body, Spirit. Same content, but it expanded from 39 pages of content to over 100 pages of content. Then I created the Holistic Wellness, Mind, Body, Spirit Journal, where they actually had 31 days where they could journal about how they were handling their mind, body, spirit, and talked about their what they were eating, exercise, their spiritual praying, and all of this was included in it. So this is from just talking about it to the outcomes of building it. But guess what? Now that I have my book out, I can go back, and I think I will go back and make my ebook a free book, because that's the beginning of it. And let them know there is a detailed book that you can purchase as well. Food for thought. So I'm giving myself some food as I am sharing with you. So remember, we have to be intentional, and we have to create strategy. And here's the thing, being intentional and creating strategy, two different things, right? My strategy is what I'm building. My intentional is making sure that I follow through with it. So my strategy may change, although me being intentional does not change. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to end on that point because, I could talk about this stuff like forever. But I think if you really listen to what's been said and you really dig in, you can add some other thought perspective too to help you to be successful in what you are doing as well. Lisa, thanks for hanging in here today. Like I say, it doesn't matter if there's nobody on the screen but me. I'm still going to do my part, and you will be able to view these videos as well on my Jetnay Publishing YouTube channel. So currently, we started this maybe about 4 months ago. We have 15 videos already on the website, on the YouTube channel, and this will be video 16. Lisa, did you want to share anything, or are you good? Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. So we're going to end this today. As I do, I always like to remind us that we are blessed to be a blessing to someone else, and that if we serve King Jesus, then we are supposed to be the visible manifestation of his invisible presence. Thanks for joining, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.